is Ethan. I live in Huntington, West Virginia, and the question proposed today is, has Occupy changed anything? I believe it has. Here in Huntington, West Virginia, you'd think, it's a conservative area, but there's a lot of disconnected left wing here, that outside the Democratic Party, just disenfranchised people who, slowly but surely met each other through Occupy. And now we have a strong and vibrant community that is connected because of the work we did at Occupy, because we met down here, and now there's anti-racist fronts here. We can fight racism in our town. We can fight sexism in our town. There's an entire scene where good, positive music and cultural events occur now because we met each other down here. We took it off the streets, but we keep it going everywhere we can. We get down on the picket line with the unions now because we all met at Occupy and we made connections at Occupy. And that's just what's happening locally. In the United States of America, because of Occupy Wall Street, hundreds of thousands of people have become re-engaged with politics. And the brutality and the inequality perpetuated by our economic system and our country and our government, our state, has been shown to the public. The facade has come down. Cops are killing people in the streets. Racism still occurs and racist shootings and killings still occur, but people know about it now and people are taking action against it now, just because through Occupy we developed our own voice, we developed our own forms of media, and we can get the word out to the people, directly to the people. Occupy Wall Street has also encouraged sister movements all across the world. It was, first, a lot of our inspiration came from the revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt and Libya and Syria, and we kind of mimicked a lot of the tactics and strategy that the non-violent protesters used in Egypt to overthrow Hosni Mubarak. But also our movement here in the United States has encouraged other Western countries to take up the cause against economic and political inequality. The people of Spain, are hundreds of thousands of them, as we record this video today, are marching against austerity, marching against the economic dictatorship of the 1%. Our movement has changed things.
My name is Daniel. I live in Huntington, West Virginia, and I'm here answering the question, do I think that Occupy changed anything? I think that on the national scale it changed a lot, simply because there were over 900 cities worldwide getting together under this banner of what Occupy meant to people. And a lot of the language that was used carried over into the political discourse. There was a much greater awareness after Occupy of corporate personhood being an issue. People talked about the 99% and the 1%. The language that was created during Occupy is still very much a part of the debates these days politically. So it did change a lot just in the way that people thought about politics and the economic system. A lot more came into question after Occupy, and a lot more is still being questioned after Occupy. And I think also through the networking that Occupy functioned, you're still able to get together and do things like this video and talk about these ideas a little further and question a little further, so that mobility, that movement, that potential energy is still there for the kinetic energy that we'll be able to do once we start mobilizing again in the near future. So yes, it did change things, and it will continue to change things, because change is inevitable.
Well, I think the whole Occupy movement changed the dialogue in the United States, made people more aware of how unfair the system is and how people are oppressed and how poverty is more widespread than what the United States wants people to think. I do think there was some good things that came out of Occupy. Occupy Homes is really good, where they're going in and occupying people's homes that are being foreclosed on, and keeping them in their homes and forcing the banks to negotiate with them. That was really good. I think Occupy the Hood, which was a movement that came out, was really good. Occupy the Hood came out because people of color felt that they weren't represented in the regular Occupy movement, so they formed Occupy the Hood. And Occupy the Hood is taking care of their communities. They're providing free breakfast programs, they're doing lunches, they're planting community gardens, they're doing a lot of things like that, making more aware of what's happening in communities of color. I do think some of the bad things with the Occupy movement were, it came out like gangbusters, and people were just like, yes, this is the movement to end all movements. And it was like really great. And then the cold set in, and they got evicted from Zuccotti Park in New York, and it was like people kind of lost their force to keep it going through the winter. And so it wasn't the movement that everybody thought it was. I mean, it moved inside, and in some places, you know, they've been occupying, like Occupy Harrisburg's been doing it 24 hours a day since they started. But other places, like here in Occupy Huntington, you know, once it got cold, it kind of fell apart. And a lot of the smaller occupies that happened to them, they fell apart. And it didn't really create the change on that community level that we were all hoping that it would.
My name is Matt. I'm from Huntington, West Virginia, and has Occupy changed things locally? For Huntington, West Virginia, I would definitely say yes. We were able to network and have 2 or 3 other local community groups spring up, and our activist community got to be broadened.
Hi, it's John Hughes with West Virginia, Huntington, West Virginia, Occupy. Has Occupy changed anything in the last year? I would say yes, and I would say no. Yes, as in there has a lot of changes been. A lot of people came together and started working on political actions. Some groups came out of it, and nationally, the media started recognizing Occupy as a thing to be dealt with. On the bad side, I think that you know, once you started a movement and then just backed out of it and just stopped doing things, it also got a downsize of it. You know, it kind of downsized what we were standing for. There's positive and there's negative out of everything, and there's not that much negative in this. So I focused on the positive, which was we all came together and we all started a movement that started from a movement that started in Egypt, and then we just brought it over to America, and now it's moved over to America. It's in Canada, it's in other countries, Spain right now. They're fighting in the streets as we speak right here. And so I think it was a positive move, and hopefully it'll grow stronger.
All right, my name is Dan T-Bob. I'm from Huntington, West Virginia. Participated in the Occupy here. I do think Occupy changed a lot of things nationally and locally, and I think the way in which it kind of did it for both is that it got a lot of activists together, networking with each other, meeting each other, learning from each other, people that would have probably never met otherwise, and everybody was working together democratically. I think it was a great model of how we need to work together in the future. Now we need to keep working together. I mean, there were a lot of great ideas that came out of Occupy, a lot of great groups locally that came out of Occupy too. Jewel City Solidarity Network, Students for Appalachian Socialism, DOG, which was around before that. There are a lot of great groups, but I think a lot of people got to put their ideas out there, and you know, we can take Occupy out of the camps and into the community and start working on the next step and getting some, you know, some real things happening, solutions that we've talked about at Occupy. I think it'll continue to be influential.